only want 45 minutes.
No, it's actually 3 minutes, which I think she told you earlier.
How many?
Yes.
How many?
Comes on from
How, how many minutes?
3. It says on the agenda. So right here, this is the citizen participation part of it. Yes, but it doesn't matter, it's for the public, it's public participation. Do you not live in the city? Then you can't speak to it. I just need a name and address. And then I'll get you set up in your system, and the mayor will call me.
too. That was what we said. Yeah, I mean, I sent you a copy of that, we said.
I think you send it. I haven't got it. So I think you send it to.
Yeah, I need to just do that. I don't want to check it.
No, I don't. Our Martin has never been. Robert Martin. So you got to start. He never. I don't know if he's retired.
It even says, next Monday, he says,
No, I've never seen. Since first day I've been here, it's a RG Martin.
well, Paul sent it to you.
He sent me their demand list.
Hit the gavel.
Yeah, I sent a letter last Friday. I knew whatever he said. So they talked.
I'd like to bring this meeting to order.
The mayor for the day, Mr. Lawson Barnes, has spoken, and we'll bring this meeting to order. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. We have with us tonight Reverend Chiloa Hale from Smyrna First United Methodist Church at 1315 Concord Road. Come on up and please lead us in the invocation and pledge. Everybody, please rise.
Good evening. Let us pray. Almighty God, we give you thanks and praise for all of your many blessings, for you are loving and good and gracious. God, we give you thanks and praise for sustaining us day by day. Thank you that you have created us to be in community with one another. God, we thank you for our city. We thank you for our elected officials, businesses, places of worship, families, and the individuals that make our city a great place to live. Now continue to be with us throughout this night, and let all that takes place bring it be a reflection of you. In your name we do pray. Amen. And now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Thank you.
Reverend, thank you for being with us tonight, and I understand that there's some news and some moves happening, and I think Mr. Lindley wanted to say a few words to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to take a moment to recognize my friend and one of my pastors as part of Methodism and the call to serve. Part of the joy, I guess, of Methodism is the appointment process, and we learned, I guess, 2 weeks ago that Reverend Hale, who serves as our associate pastor at Smyrna First Methodist, will be named the senior pastor at Bethel United Methodist in Atlanta. So we're sad to see her go, but know she will do great things there. She has been an historic appointment that we're very proud of at Smyrna First, and she leaves behind some very big shoes for folks to follow, but we hope Ms. Hale continues to come to Smyrna when she can. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you for your service. All right. We have no agenda changes tonight. Item 5 is the mayoral report, and I'm going to do a couple of things, and then you can add anything that you want to, okay? Mayor Barnes, is that good? So I want to introduce our honorary mayor of the day, Lawson Barnes. He's a first grade student at King Springs Elementary, 7 years old, loves Atlanta United, plays Smyrna Little League, loves the arts, and we had a great lunch today and learned all about each other and talked about what we do with the city and how we serve all the people here, and he had a lot of great questions, and he's going to be with us tonight helping me run the meeting, and we've got a special presentation for him. This is a certificate. Said, the city of Smyrna, Georgia, be it known that Lawson Barnes has been bestowed with the esteemed title of Honorary Mayor of the Day in recognition of his exceptional spirit, enthusiasm, and curiosity. Lawson Barnes is hereby granted the full authority and admiration that accompanies the prestigious role of Honorary Mayor of Smyrna for this special day, given this 22nd day of April, 2024. Derek Norton, Mayor, City of Smyrna. So let's stand up and get a picture right here with this. Or do we want to come down there? What's best? Yeah, here. Come on down here. Come on down here, Mr. Mayor. We'll get one down Glad you're here with us, Lawson. I had a couple of other things in the mayoral report. I wanted to thank all of the volunteers and participants in the Jonquil Jog on Saturday. We had over 650 runners downtown, raising money for the Campbell High School Education Foundation and Support Smyrna. And I think we raised over $40,000, maybe even more than that. All the numbers we're crunching, but it was a great turnout, a great day, and everybody had a really good time, I believe. We also had the Mayor's Education Awards last Thursday, where 3 students were recognized, 3 exceptional students from every school in and around Smyrna. We literally rolled out the red carpet for them at the community center with a white linen dinner and awards. All of them got medals, and their families joined us, and it was a great evening, and we look forward to many more of those. And then I wanted to just remind everybody we have the Jonquil Festival coming up, the annual Jonquil Festival next weekend. Looks like great weather, and so I hope everybody will join us on Saturday and Sunday coming up next weekend. With that, I will conclude the mayoral report and move on to community development items. Item 7A, plat approval of subdivision for 2 single-family homes in the R15 zoning district, land lot 384, 1.46 acres, 3813 North Cooper Lake Road. Aaron and Gina McGinnis. Mr. Bennett, any background, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Aaron and Gina McGinnis request an approval to subdivide property at 3813 North Cooper Lake Road into 2 single-family residential lots. The applicant plans to subdivide the property within the requirements of the R15 zoning district, so no rezoning is required. And I'll turn over to Mr. Martin.
Thank you. Rusty Martin, Community Development Director for the City of Smyrna. The request went before the P&Z board on April 15th. They made a recommendation for approval by a vote of 7-0. This is a zoning request, a subdivision request to subdivide the property into 2 lots. As you can see, the subject property is highlighted. The surrounding zoning to the north, east, and south is R15. The zoning to the west across North Cooper Lake Road is R20. The subject property is 3813 North Cooper Lake Road. It's just over 1.5 acres in size total. They will be subdividing the property, and the new lot will be around 20,000 square feet. And there's the new property line. The setbacks for the new property is going to be a 40-foot front setback, 10-foot side, and a 30-foot rear. And that is in keeping with the R15 zoning standards. There is a sanitary sewer easement that runs along the back. So if this gets approved, they will have a new sanitary sewer line running through that easement to provide sanitary sewer for both lots. In addition, there'll be a 5-foot sidewalk along the road, and there's no variances requested. Community Development is recommending approval of the proposed lot split. With that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from council? Any discussion?
Can we put the site map back up there again, please? My question is, so the existing home will stay, and is that correct?
Yes.
And then the driveway for the existing home is on North Cooper Lake, and then the other one will be facing Austin Drive?
Yes, that's an existing condition today. The new house will be built on the new lot to the east, and it will have a new driveway as part of that house,
And
with
then
a
the other
driveway
one is-
on Austin Drive.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, can you back up to the drawing that was on there before, showing the back property?
The
What was section, the sewer easement. It's going all the way across the back then?
Yes, it's, so when they tear down that existing house, I believe the plan is to take down that house and rebuild on that lot. So they'll have access to sewer through that easement.
Okay, but for storm drainage, are they doing an underground, Are they doing?
Yes, they will do a water quality pond right behind the house, just in front of that storm easement, or the sanitary easement.
I don't have any other questions.
It's already split, I guess.
Any other questions or discussion? All right, this is in Mr. Welch's ward.
Yeah, is the applicant here? I guess I do have another question. Yes.
Come on up. Come on up.
So are you the owner or the person buying the property there?
No, I'm the authorized agent of the owner, Miss Cheryl Spiva.
Okay. I thought maybe you were the owner, and I live next door.
Yes.
So I just thought maybe I could meet who was buying the property, but, okay. I have no problems with it. I've looked at it, and, yeah, you know, it's a nice piece of property. You know, wish her well. Is she gonna, do you know if she's looking to build a house for herself, or is she gonna try to build a spec home, or do they know yet?
I think there's been some debate to that
Okay.
effect.
Well, that's all the questions I have.
Okay, thank you. All right, so here's what you do. You say,
May I have a motion?
Yes, you do. I'd like to make a motion to approve item 9A, 7A, I'm sorry. ATH 2024-00070 for the plat approval at 3813 North Cooper Lake Road.
oh, we have a second. Okay, we have a second from Mr. Lindley. And now say that.
All council members, please vote.
And I should have mentioned, Councilman Pickens is unable to be with us tonight. He had travel. So that's approved, 6-0. Thank you. We'll move on to our next item. We don't have any privileged license or show cause hearings, so formal business. Item 9A, approval to award RFP 24-029 for public art consulting services to Designing Local. They're located at 20 East Broad Street, Suite 1010, Columbus, Ohio 43215, for an amount not to exceed $25,000, and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. Can you read that?
Mr. Bennett, any background, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. The city requested proposals from qualified individuals or firms to provide public art consultation services. The primary duties included identifying existing public art resources and needs, establishing current and future goals and priorities, and working with city staff to develop timelines, scope, budget requirements, and implementation processes for artist selection and installation fabrication of selected art. Administration, Economic Development, and Parks and Recreation staff reviewed 5 proposals and unanimously selected Designing Local. Designing Local staff were interviewed on Friday, April 5th, 2024, and the team recommended them as a selected firm. The proposed cost for the initial term is not to exceed $25,000.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. This is something that's been a long time in the works. I know that we have allocated money and designated the space for the artery from Belmont to Bronner, and for a few different reasons, that's been kind of a slow process. I think both a little too many cooks in the kitchen on the committee, and then probably not enough expertise on staff. So these guys will come in, if approved, and help us put art out in the public realm in the downtown, and all, I think there were 50 or 60 spaces identified for the artery between Belmont and Bronner. So I'm looking forward to seeing all that come to fruition. Any discussion?
Just one comment, Mr. Mayor. I know this has been a long time in coming, and a lot of work goes into this to make it happen. So I'm excited about it, and I know we have a representative from the Indie Art Alliance here today, Robert Harrison, and I think we're just enthused about this process moving forward.
And I know Robert has shared my frustration at the lack of action, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this come to fruition. And thank you to Councilman Oglesby for being the liaison to the group that we'll put together. I think we're going to do 2 from the Smyrna Arts Council, 2 from the Indie Arts Alliance, and then some members at large, but keep it small so that it's manageable. And I think we'll have, under the direction of this firm. If approved, I think we'll have a better scenario. So thank you for all your work, Robert. All right. Any other discussion?
May I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve RFP 24-029 as written.
I have a motion by Mr. Oglesby. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Gould.
All council members, please vote.
It's approved 6-0.
It's approved 6-0.
All right. Thank you. We're moving on to item B, approval of the appointment of Ward 7 resident, Mr. David Witt, to the Smyrna Tree Board to fulfill current term through August 2024. Mr. Oglesby.
Yes, Mr. David Witt, I'm excited to bring him on to the team. He is a self-proclaimed tree expert, so we all will enjoy the value that he brings. So I'm looking forward to working with Mr. Witt.
We appreciate him offering himself up for service. Mr. Mayor?
May I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve BCA 2024-008 as written.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Lindley. All those in favor? How you say it?
All council members, please vote.
It's approved 6-0.
It's approved 6-0.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're moving on to item C, authorization to enter into an intergovernmental agreement from May 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025 between the City of Roswell, Georgia and the City of Smyrna, Georgia for the housing of prison inmates at a per diem rate of $70 per 24-hour period for each inmate housed in the Smyrna Detention Center, and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. Mr. Bennett, any background, please?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Roswell, Georgia has requested the City of Smyrna, Georgia begin housing Roswell prison inmates and bonding Roswell inmates on May 1st, 2024, and continuing until December 31st, 2029, unless the agreement is terminated by means stated in the intergovernmental agreement. The City of Roswell has agreed to pay the City of Smyrna the per diem rate of $70 per 24-hour period a Roswell prisoner is housed at the City of Smyrna Jail. Said amount includes the bonding of Roswell prisoners by employees of the Smyrna Jail by procedures that are mutually agreeable to both parties. An intergovernmental agreement was drafted which delineated the performance of such functions as well as the per diem rate for housing and bonding. Police Department and Finance staff recommend authorization.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Any discussion? Seeing none.
May I have a motion?
So moved by Mr. Lindley. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Welch.
All council members, please vote.
You're a natural at this. It's approved 6-0.
It's approved 6-0.
All right. We'll move on to our last item under formal business, approval of property liability insurance provider change to Travelers Insurance with Oak Bridge and Seville as the brokers of record in the amount of $1,148,636, and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. Can you say that?
Mr. Bennett, any background?
Yes, sir. The city maintains property and liability insurance with an annual coverage period of May 1st through April 30th. The city maintains property and liability insurance with an annual coverage period of May 1st, 2024 through April 30th, 2025. Rates are based on a look back of past claims, losses, and liability exposure, taking into account the newly installed turf soccer fields. This policy includes risk management services provided by the brokers of record.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Any discussion, any questions?
Yep.
Mr. Lindley.
Mayor, I'll just say, as we sort of wade into this, I guess in short, the plan before us ensures that the city is fully covered. In a very litigious state, I think that's most important, and I think is one of the agreements, as we've sort of talked through in the last couple of hours. It sounds like we'll get an update maybe at the 6-year mark, I'm sorry, 6-month mark, in terms of where we are, to where we can properly prepare for a year from now. So, very satisfied we're moving in the right direction.
Ms. Hines?
And it's my understanding that we have the ability in a year's time to be able to reevaluate and see how things are, see whether or not this has helped. I'm not very, looking at the difference between a few years and now, I'm not very, feeling very good about the current state of coverage that we have going forward. So I definitely think we need to be looking into that, and the idea that we would have someone who could be, since the city right now we don't have a risk manager, not because we don't want it, but just financially doing that right now is not probably the most feasible thing, and this company will do that. In my understanding, they will also do a risk assessment report in addition to coming back in 6 months and telling us how things have gone. It's my understanding they will come quarterly, or as often as we want, to tell us how things are going as well. Finally, we will get a report, risk assessment report.
Okay. Anybody else? Mr. Gould?
Sure, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple things that are important to me in this discussion. As it's been said, currently we're in a risk pool, which is a conglomeration of about 350 cities across the state, versus an insurance plan. And the pool that's being held by GERMA, that number of the dollars in their overage is reducing from about 125 million to about $76 million. So their pool continues to shrink in this very challenging insurance market. So moving to an insurance plan versus a risk pool provides the city more long-term protection. Secondly, most cities of our size have switched over recent years to insurance. I think we are in the top 2% of the cities relative to size in the city in this risk pool. So we were one of the big fish, so to speak, in the GERMA plan, and that doesn't bode well for us if there's challenging insurance events in front of us. So anyway, so there's a long-term benefit to us to move into an insurance plan.
Anybody else have any discussion or questions? Ms. Wilkinson?
Yes. Well, I guess some of the information that I have, there are still some larger organizations in the pool. And so, I understand that there's been a mixed communication about that. But anyway, and the other part, for me, this is difficult because of the increase in the premium and also the increase in the deductible. So, and just, that's why I can't support it at this time.
Anybody else? Mr. Oglesby?
Yes, I think for me, the benefit is the idea of having risk management at all times. I think the long-term goal here is to lower our premiums, correct? So with actual risk management, a true risk management process, we should have the ability to do those things. So, I will be supporting it for that very reason.
Anybody else?
Everybody else has spoken. I'm going to get the last word in. I want everybody to understand the policy that we're going to is significantly more expensive than our prior policy. I don't want to mislead anybody, but I really do not like the business practice of GERMA and some of the things that they've done during this process. And despite the fact that we're going to be paying more money for it, I do feel like we're going to get a better service from the new company, and that's the reason I'm supporting it tonight.
And I'd add maybe even a better value. All right, everybody's spoken. You want to ask for a motion?
May I have a motion?
So move approval by Mr. Lindley. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Gould.
All council members, please vote.
All right, and that's approved 5-1 with Councilwoman Wilkinson voting in the negative. Item 10 is the consent agenda. Mr. Bennett, can you please read the consent agenda for council approval?
Mr. Bennett, will you please read the consent agenda for council approval?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Item 10A, MIN 2024-048, approval of the April 4th, 2024 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. Item B, MIN 2024-049, approval of the April 8th, 2024 pre-council meeting minutes. Item C, MIN 2024-050, approval of the April 8th, 2024 mayor and council meeting minutes. And item D, ATH 2024-068, approve the street closures for the 2024 Smyrna market.
May I have a motion?
So moved by Mr. Lindley, second by Ms. Hines. Here you go.
All council members, please vote.
Do we need a show of hands? Yes, please. All right. All those in favor, please raise your hand. On the consent? And that's approved 6-0. Thank you. We're going to get that system fixed one of these days, right? Both. All right, item 11 is ward and staff reports, and we'll start tonight with Ms. Hines.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm so excited to be able to do this. Once again, I'm so happy to be able to say that we're doing something that's first ever here in the city of Smyrna. And thank you, Councilmember Lindley has partnered with me and with the Magistrate Court of Cobb County. And they are going to have the first ever pop-up clinic, a legal clinic here in Smyrna, and it's being hosted at Smyrna First United Methodist, and it's going to be this Saturday, and that's from 10 to 12. And so please look on our websites about this information. It's great to be able to have this access. It's the people from the Cobb County Bar Association, from the Atlanta Legal Aid, and it's helping in a lot of civil areas, whether or not it's landlord-tenant, real estate, a lot of probate issues. And so please make sure you're sharing that information. I'm very happy that we're able to partner for that. And then also, I want to give a shout out. As you guys know, I'm a very big proponent for our public safety, from working with them for over 20-something years. And so our fire department does amazing, amazing work. And as a matter of fact, they're having their community engagement event on April 27th, which is also that same day. So please make sure you come out. And I want to give a plug for them. Our Smyrna Fire Department participated in Fight for Air, Climb Atlanta, to support the mission of the American Lung Association. A lot of that deals with what happened with 9/11 and a lot of the fallout from that for those first responders. And so they did that, and they took the top spot for the fastest team and raised over $3,900 to help support the American Lung Associations. The firefighters climbed over 40 floors, over 800 steps, in full gear. Over 30 fire departments participated in the event. So I want to really just give that plug to our fire department. We have a really, really amazing public safety here in Smyrna.
Thank you, Ms. Hines.
Mr. Lindley?
Thank you, dual mayors. Just to reiterate, on the open house, they will be showcasing the new fire truck, which I think Mr. Bennett has been on order for 2 years. So we'll
Yes, sir.
have that. And then they also asked us to make sure everyone was aware of the Smyrna Safe Business Appreciation application process gets underway in May. And then echo my colleagues' comments on the legal pop-up. Great opportunity in the community. With that, I yield.
Mr. Welch?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to remind everybody, on May the 4th is the Smyrna Garden Tour. You can get tickets from keepsmyrnabeautiful.com. Please come out and enjoy it.
Ms. Wilkinson?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I was going to remind everybody about the garden tour, which is what Councilmember Welch just announced. Also, I will let people know that the Keep Smyrna Beautiful will also have a plant sale there at Taylor Bronner. And also the following day, the Jonquil Garden Club will have a plant sale in the downtown market. So if you want to get plants, that's a good time to get them. So with that, I yield.
Mr. Gould?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is definitely the season for community activities and events. This past week, of course, we had the Mayor's Education Awards, which is just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to recognize young students to older students across the city. 16 schools that feed into the Campbell High School, and it's really, really great event. A lot of fun. Jonquil Jog was Saturday, supports two great causes, supports Smyrna and the Campbell High School Education Foundation. And today we also had the golf outing for the foundation. The foundation funds 2 college and career counselors, and along with a bunch of other educational programs at the high school. Campbell's, as you know, is the largest high school in the county, the most diverse high school in the county, and I would argue the best high school in the county. So I appreciate all the folks that supported both of those activities. And Saturday night, and Robert might have left, but Robert Harrison and the Indie Arts Alliance hosted a wonderful event showcasing art from the Campbell High School IB art students, the seniors, and really just a wonderful opportunity for the seniors to show their artwork in a professional setting and to tie in the Indie Art Alliance and the Smyrna Arts Council to our young students together. Just really a remarkable day, remarkable night, and appreciate Robert and all of his team to help make that happen. So, yeah, great fun weekend.
And a special shout out on that event to Michelle Murphy. who
And
I understand
yes, and
had
Michelle Murphy
a
did.
large part in making
Yep.
that such a success.
Yep, yeah, she was a big inspiration in making this happen. So, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Holsby?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. This upcoming weekend is going to be a very exciting and busy weekend for the city of Smyrna. Going back to the old Smyrna Firehouse, and Robert Harrison, they'll be hosting a jazz concert, which will support our Smyrna Arts Council. So if you're interested in that and you love jazz music outside under the stars, please visit their website and purchase a ticket to support the Art Council. Also, our Campbell High School Theater Group, they'll be performing again, Shook Up. If you're an Elvis Presley music fan, definitely check out, or just support them anyway. The kids are great. I've been to their shows. Please support them. That'll be April 26th and 27th. Last but definitely not least, our Smyrna Elite Track Club, which is made up of many youth here in the Smyrna area, Smyrna students. They participated in the district track meet in Dalton High School. Of those kids, 22 of those kids made it to state, which will be this weekend at Morrow High School. A lot of these kids are new to running track, and they've already exceeded their goals. Obviously, exceeded our goals for them. So I'm excited for those young athletes, ranging from ages 8 years old to 14. All right, and these are Smyrna kids. Let's cheer them on. Hopefully, they'll bring home the gold, as we always do. That's it.
And Mr. Oglesby, thank you for your spirited support of our youth sports. Nobody's a better advocate for youth sports than you are, and we really appreciate it. Mr. Bennett, anything?
No, sir, not tonight.
Mr. Cochran? Ms. Heather?
I do actually, sir. I just want to give a brief update regarding Cobb County advance voting for the general primary on May 21st. That will begin at the Smyrna Community Center beginning April 29th and will run through May 17th. And specific information on dates and times can be found on both the city's website as well as the Cobb County Elections website.
Thank you. And Ms. Hines forgot something.
Yes, I just want to go back to our city manager's report, which he didn't do, our administrator, which is, today is his birthday. He could have taken off today, but
Thank you, Ms. Hines.
his
While we're on
dedication.
the
What a
subject,
great way to spend your birthday.
I'll also wish my wife a happy birthday at home.
Well, we appreciate you always, and we're very happy that you have this birthday, and we wish you blessings.
Thank you much.
With that, we'll move on to citizen participation, public comment. We have 2 citizens signed up to speak this evening. Kenny Staton, I think it's first. Is that correct? Come on up. And if you'll state your name and address for the record, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Kenny C. Staton. I'm a resident of Atlanta, Georgia. And I am a temporary, and I'll be here for just a moment. P.O. Box 724002, Atlanta, Georgia. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Interim Mayor. I want to just speak just momentarily. They told me I only had 45 minutes to speak.
They told you wrong.
So I'm going to do the very best that I can in the little time that I have. I want to first commend the city. I've been here just a momentarily. I've been here for a minute. I want to just say to the city, I want to commend the city for being one of the cleanest cities I've ever been to. And not only clean, but efficient. And I want to say that's to be commended. Maybe you guys need to package that up and sell it to some of the other cities around the nation, because I've been to quite a few and they have not done this well. But I want to bring some concerns, two concerns that I really want to speak to the commission about, or to the city council about. The first one I want to speak to you is about a growing concern that I see in the city. And that is when I see a lot of women and children who are homeless and making themselves in this area. I've seen, and it doesn't bother me as much if I see a man homeless, but when I see women and children, that bothers me. I've been told that, and it bothers me, and I'm taking it personal because I've been homeless. But I want to say this, and I said that to say this. The poor will be with us always. They're not going anywhere. They're not hiding. We can't push them away. We can't turn them away. They're going to be here. And to whom much is given, much is required. It ought to bother any man who rides home, any person. It ought to bother you when you have much and you ride home and get in the bed and cut on your thermostat and eat your food and all this, and then get in the bed and go to bed, and you passed up a woman and her children. That's bothersome. Not for a man, but for a woman and her children sleeping in a car. And they've come to me and they've asked me, where do we go? I don't know because this city is not nearly as bad as some of the other cities I've seen, so I don't want to say that. But one thing we don't want to do is we don't want to turn a city that's clean into a whitewash city that looks good from the outside, but on the inside is full of dead men's bones. And that's a cover-up. The second thing I want to speak about is maybe, and I'll move on because I only got a few more minutes. The second thing I want to speak about is the availability of young professionals having somewhere affordable to stay. The affordability of young professionals as we build up the area, as the area is being built up, and how we're going to get the young people, because once you get too high and your affordability is out of place. And then they can't stay, they're gonna move somewhere else. So I don't know a whole lot about what Smyrna's got going on, but I'm just bringing this to retraction so that you could maybe have something on the board to think about. The young professionals have to have something a little affordable. The $500,000 and all that, the young professionals, a lot of them can't afford that right away, but they have to build up. And I'm going to find out, because like I said, a lot of the women who I've helped while I'm here have asked me where do we go. So if the council can't answer that now, maybe later, then I'll have some things I can take back, because I don't know all the lists that they have for the resources, okay? So if I come back the next time, I come and I sit back there and I don't, but I just said one day I'll get up and I'll speak about it. And it's a concern of mine, and I really want to help as many as I can, okay? That's all I want to say.
I want to say to you, thank you for your passion. Thank you for your comments. I want to tell you that one of the greatest honors of my life has been working with our foundation Support Smyrna, which helps the folks that you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Right? It helps children and families. There's a lot of families coming to schools from hotels or cars. It is opened my eyes to the needs right here that you're speaking about in our community. And I would encourage you, one of our biggest challenges is connecting the resources that we're able to have through events like the Jonquil Jog or the golf tournament or contributions, connecting those resources with people in need, right? So we do a good job through the social workers, through the American Legion, through religious organizations and others. But if you can, one of the best things you could do is help us identify those that are in need and connect them with Support Smyrna so that we can help them.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes.
we would appreciate any help in that way.
Yes, sir.
So thank you. Thank
You're
you for
welcome.
that.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I could just also mention.
Ms. Hines.
Sir, there's also an organization here in Cobb County, and we have one of the locations located off of Pat Mill Road, which is Must Ministries. And
I didn't hear you, ma'am.
Must Ministries.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
If you look that up, we have one of those locations here in Smyrna. It's off of Pat Mill Road, to be able to help with some temporary housing for those who are unhoused currently.
Yes, ma'am. I also, there's a on Paces Foundation. Is it Paces Foundation? Affordable housing?
Over there off of Cumberland?
Cumberland?
Yep,
Yes,
yep,
sir.
yep.
Yes, sir.
They help as well.
That's one of the ones I know of.
And
But
I'd also
I'll get a
mention,
list.
the Tillman House at the Smyrna First United Methodist Church.
Yes, sir.
That's a good resource for folks in need.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Ken Himes, 151 Ennisbrook Drive.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Hello again. And hello to our honorary mayor. Let me first state that the comments I'm about to make do not apply to you. Let me get that out of the way first. I've come to address you all in a slightly different way tonight. When I spoke to you in March, the conversation didn't create the response I was hoping for and expecting. So tonight I want to give you some apologies and a comment. First, let me apologize for raising so many issues that were important to citizens, but not to some of you. Issues such as neighborhood flooding, unaffordable housing, which we just heard a comment about, unsafe school walkways, the need for a small business incubator, and the need for more recreational opportunities for teens and preteens. I apologize also for highlighting the lack of transparency around some of the city's largest projects. Going forward, I will assume that they're all on track and on budget. I must apologize also for assuming I could get financial accounting for some of these projects. Not to worry about that. I'll use my calculus and my abacus to figure it out on my own, hopefully. I'll come to some good conclusions there. I want to directly apologize to Mr. Oglesby, Mr. Gould, Mr. Lindley, Ms. Hines. I didn't realize that asking questions and seeking truth would irritate you, but you'll be happy to know I'm getting some professional help for my problem. Mr. Lindley, I do apologize to you as well for only participating in public comment roughly once a quarter, as you properly pointed out. I know I can do better, and I'll pledge to be more of a presence on a regular basis. So with all that said, I won't apologize for standing up for what we all know is right. So in the future, I'll try to make my comments more clear, more fact-based, so as not to invite misinterpretation or knee-jerk responses. Because at the end of the day, the citizens whom you serve deserve equal measures of transparency, true servant leadership, integrity, and fiscal responsibility. As mentioned before, these are all still areas that need improvement. I will tell you tonight, I and other interested citizens will gladly meet with you and speak with you to come up with ways we can reasonably address some of these issues and concerns. I thank you for your time. Have a great evening.
If there is no other business to be brought before this body, we are adjourned.
I'm sorry.